Hello, just going to give you a video to explain the price movement range indicator for TradeStation. This is an indicator for the charts that basically shows the kind of the expected upper and lower range you might expect based on the prior movement, and you can define the look back period to generate those upper and lower thresholds. If you have any questions, here's my email and website has a little more information on this and other indicators. And here's the legal information. I would urge you to pause this video and read this completely. Basically, we're saying everything we do is for educational purposes only. We're not giving any type of advice to buy or sell anything. All investing, trading, financial decisions are your responsibility and your responsibility only. So we encourage you to get the appropriate training, help, from the professionals to do that. Again, everything we do is for educational purposes only. We're not giving you any recommendation to buy or sell anything. Okay, I've got the indicator applied to a 5-minute chart of the futures, S&P futures. This video is being done on a Saturday, so the market's closed. So just to give you an idea of what you're looking at, basically, this is a 5-minute chart, and so the indicator kind of looks back at the same hour from the prior number of days based on the input that you set in here. Let's see. Okay, I'll show you that it popped up off the screen here. So if we say customize, you can see this is the let's see, default. There's this look back let's see, period. So this is saying you want to look back over the hourly time frame, and so you put 60 for 60 minutes in here. Basically, the support document on the App Store webpage has the explanation and valid values for these, but basically I'll show you the ones that are valid. So 60 means 60-minute chart, and then this is saying look back for the prior 15 days at each specific hour. So it'll be say 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. It'll look back prior 15 days at that hour, calculate the range, the expected range based basically on the kind of the high and the low that was achieved on each of those days, average it essentially, and then create an offset, an upper and a lower threshold. So that's the type of look back period you want. So this is hourly. Here's the length, 15 periods. This is just if you want to make this line thicker or not. If you want to, you can color the upper and lower range, whatever you want. This is for the display location of this information here. You can basically put it in the 4 corners, whatever makes sense to you. The size of the font, the display, you can set like how far you want it over from the edge here. And then if you say show range percent only, it'll basically chop this number off. What this is showing you is this is the average hourly range for the current hour. So it's saying 2 points on the ES, but of course the market's closed, so it's kind of during this time there's no movement. And then this is telling you how far from the bottom threshold the current closing price is. So this is saying it's 50% of the range from the bottom. So basically you're right in the middle of the range. And then this is telling you the same thing in a point value. So 50% of 2 points would be 1 point. So that's just kind of giving you, this is basically the same information just as a percentage or as a raw point value. So if you don't want to see this point value, you can set this to true, so it'll show the range percent only. And that's true for, let's see, I'll show you the hourly, and then you can do a daily, and then you can do a weekly average range, price movement range drawing, but I'll show you that. So okay, so we say okay, close. So you can basically see how this upper and lower range change as the market moves. Obviously it does a pretty good job of kind of bounding what the expected move might be. And then you get, obviously this is just a range based on a look back period, so it's not has no magic to make things stay inside the box. It's just showing you what's typical. And of course it can quickly go outside the range, and obviously this might be an indication that there's something more than quote normal is happening if we exceed this range. So I'll just show you, look back here, you know, you can just see that it basically follows this. And one key thing to note, let's see, let me show you the see. So you want to make sure you've got enough data for this. So see, right now this is the default for 5 minutes, so we need to say, okay, it'll calculate it, but we want to go, I say usually at least 20 periods back, so we'd say okay. And so there we go. So still, you know, the same number here, but just to make sure you have enough data to calculate this. So that's on a, well, let's see, let me show you just, we'll do a stock. So you can see here's Apple, kind of does a good job of maintaining what your expectations might be. And again, you know, saying for this market close time, you know, basically 24 cents is the range, and we're 12 cents, so we're in the middle, so we're halfway in that range. But that, again, the market's closed, so you can see how this you know, bounds it most of the time. So that's that on a let's see, on a minute chart, and this is hourly range. So let's see, let's change this. We can say, and it comes over here. Let's change this to do a, okay, now we're going to say do a daily chart, which is a -1 for daily. And so this will do the same thing, but show you what the daily movement range is expected to be. So as you might expect, you know, this is showing you an entire day. Let me change the time frame here just so we can kind of see a little bit here. So as you can see, you know, here's, you know, a day, a day, a day. You can see how these upper and lower thresholds are changed as each day progresses, and it's, you know, again calculated on the prior, that look back period, which is you know, 15 days. And so again, you can just kind of see how the price, you know, generally stays within this range. Obviously there's times when it squirts outside higher or lower. And let's see, so, you know, just kind of does its thing. And let's see, so we can also do a weekly if you would like that. So let me change that. Why my window keeps popping up over here. So let's see, you want to do a weekly. So this is going to say a weekly look back period, and it's going to base the upper and lower range on the last 15 weeks. So we'll say okay to that. So now, of course, this value, these threshold lines only change, you know, at the start of the week. So you can see how, you know, we stayed bounded within the pretty much within the expected upper and lower threshold for the week. And you can do, you know, as you slide back, you can see it stays pretty well contained within those boundaries. Again, you got to make sure. Let's see how much data it defaulted to. So 30 days back is, you know, roughly only 4 weeks. So let's make sure we've got, we'll say 20 weeks. Okay. So there we go. We got the calculation moving for the full 15 periods. I mean, obviously, if it has less than data than it needs, the indicator will still calculate based on the amount of data you have on the chart. But if you truly want, you know, the numbers to, your settings to take effect for the full amount of data that you selected, you need enough data on the chart for the indicator to work. And that's just kind of the way TradeStation works. The indicator can't on its own request an amount of data. It's limited to the amount of data that the chart is set for. So just something to note. And let's see, well, we can change, let's change this to, oh, I'm sorry, just to let, wanted to make you know, it'll tell you kind of what time frame you're looking at. So AWR is average weekly range, and for daily it'll be average daily range, and then hourly it'll be AHR for average hourly range. And again, this is just saying on average for a week there's roughly, you know, $5.39 of movement, and right now we're pretty much right in the middle of the range, 49.26% from the bottom, or $2.66. If this value goes below this, you'll see a negative percentage here telling you how far below, and if it goes above, then the value will be greater than 100, since we're, you know, outside the range. So that's how you can look at that and interpret that data. And let's see, and this also, let's see if I do Forex, it works for that. So let's see. So you can see the numbers change here a little bit to you know, give you how Forex is obviously the way the pips and all that work. It's a smaller kind of number, if you will, so we extend the range here. But again, you can see that this is outside the range. So see, it's 133%. So that means it's all the way above this, basically 30% of this calculated historical range, and that's how many pips basically you are from this bottom threshold. Again, you know, since we're 133%, that's why it's bigger than the range. You notice this number is bigger than this range, so we're outside the expected range there. So let me see, and then let's make sure we got all the numbers. Okay, so let's just, to show you something else, we'll change this to a daily range, and you can see how this, you know, this is daily data. Now you can see how this weekly band kind of sets, you know, generally your expectation for what the movement is going to be based on historical, you know, the historical average of the movement range. And again, you can see for the week, here's what the expectation is. We're 88% from the bottom, and this is the number of basically pips that we are from the bottom. So since we're inside the range, you know, this number is a little smaller than this number. And again, you know, AWR, average weekly range, on the daily time frame. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what this does, and you know, kind of as a way to kind of set your expectation based on essentially the recent history of the movement of whatever ticker you're looking at. And this indicator works on TradeStation 10 only. I think this is probably one of the few that I have that only works on TradeStation 10. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, you can go to the front of the video, the start, and you can look at my email address. And please, if you have any comments or questions or suggestions for, you know, features or improvements, please email those to me. And hope you use this, and hope it's something useful for you. Thanks. Bye.